Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Life Unfiltered, the brand new show on the Bill of Rights Network. And how's Phoenix doing this evening?
Good. Phoenix was actually cleaning and organizing, and also I looked at the time. I'm used to 9 o'clock my time, and also was like, wait a minute. I think we're going on at 8 now. I had to double
Yeah,
check. So I was in a frenzy. I was like, oh,
that's all right. I mean,
but
it's
I'm
easy.
doing good.
That's good. I'm doing pretty good up here and everything, doing a little work on our food truck to build our business up and everything, and enjoying some nice weather finally.
Oh, gosh, yes.
I mean, we've been in mid 40s here.
I let me see what we were at today because we were at 50. No, we're currently at 53.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
I think we were up in the 60s
Yeah.
today.
But you got some storms coming in too.
We had rain all last night and this morning.
So
So
did we.
yeah, it's passed. Um, so yeah, tomorrow's going to be 44, and then we're back up in the 60s. In fact, I see Monday it says 67.
Yeah. We're going to be in the
I'm
40s for a
ecstatic.
couple more days and then we'll be back down in the 30s. And then not this weekend, but the following weekend, we're supposed to get another snowstorm.
Oh no, keep it.
I know,
Please
but
don't send it to
I
us,
know, but you're going to be getting some too around that time from what I seen on the weather.
Carl.
I'm nice. I love sharing things.
I
You
have
know that.
always I have always really liked you, but you're about to ruin that cussing at me the way you are.
I know, but I love sharing things. So when we get snow, I love sharing it everywhere.
Yeah, I appreciate your generosity, but it's really not necessary.
Well, that's
No,
like
it was go
the
ahead.
the first of the year when we got our 15 inches of snow up here. Everybody was going, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it was payback when New Orleans and Milton, Florida got their 10 inches.
Yeah.
I told Denise and Ron, I said, yeah, you had to bring. Denise told everybody at her work the day it started snowing down there. She goes, yeah, I knew it was going to be problems. I went through a box and found all our winter clothes right
Wow.
before it started snowing. And I said, yeah, you brought it with you in that box, didn't you?
Yeah. We should invite Ron and Denise on. We haven't had them pop in a show for a while.
We will when they get back. They're getting everything ready. They're going on a cruise,
Ah,
a family cruise. A lot of their family is coming in. One of the daughters from Las Vegas is coming in. Ron's mom's going down from St. Louis, and they're going out.
they didn't invite me here.
Yeah, and they're going out through
Family.
the Gulf of Mexico, all the way over to Mexico. I think they're going to be gone like 5 days, 5 or 6 days. But yeah, it'll be their first cruise that they've went on.
That's awesome. I have never been on a cruise.
I
So
don't. I'd like to go on a cruise, but I don't really want to because I'm not a fan of big water.
yeah.
I would stay in the middle of that boat. You would not see me up on it for nothing.
I don't know. I think I would enjoy it, but then I don't know. Once I'm out on the water, would I be thinking of the Titanic or something?
Nope, I'd be sitting there going, "There ain't no land, and I know how I am in water."
Yeah.
The buoyancy in my body. Most people's buoyancy is right here in your body, right? You're able to float. I'm not able to float. My buoyancy is up here.
Yeah.
I mean, in the military and everything, we was doing some stuff. So they took us to the swimming pool, indoor swimming pool, with our backpacks on to
Okay.
learn how to, if you was in fell off something in water with your backpack on, how you could get out and go, right?
Hmm.
Well, they were sitting there talking, and one of the drill sergeants go, "Is there anybody here who can't swim?" And I went, "Me." So I walked up there to the front. He goes, "You can't." He pushed me in. Right?
Mhm.
I'm sitting on the bottom of the pool waving at him.
Oh no.
After about a minute, they seen bubbles not coming up. They jumped in and brought me up, and they go, "Oh my God, you can't swim and you can't float." And I went, "I told you that, you idiots. You about drowned me."
Yeah.
I mean, I get in the pool, I go straight to the bottom. It's my body system.
Yeah. I'm not the greatest swimmer, but I can swim. Actually, I haven't been in the water for a while. Hi, Bill.
I
But
will.
I can swim a little. I just, I don't know. I've always been curious about going on a cruise, but no, I think it would be great to get Ron and Denise on when they get back from their cruise, and
Yeah.
and
Talk about their
I
life.
always enjoyed having them on.
I know. We'll talk about their life down in Florida and how it's going, and we'll go from there. But yeah, everything's been going pretty good and stuff, especially on our network. Everything's been going real good.
Yeah,
So
I'm excited about Dark Ages streaming.
Dark
It's
Realm.
Dark Realm. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dark Realm
Please
TV.
correct me. I don't want to put out the wrong thing. I don't have
Right
my
there. Dark Realm TV
okay.
on Roku and on the Fire Stick. And they're having meetings next week with Apple TV.
Okay.
So I
Awesome.
know we're on two of the platforms, the Roku and the Fire Stick right now, and before long we'll be on the Apple TV too. Some of our shows. So as this show grows, this show will be over on Dark Realm TV too.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Um. So.
first thing before we go any further, let's put out prayers for the families that was involved in this plane collision out there in DC, for the families on the plane and also the military people that were lost and everything. Remember, keep them all in your prayers and stuff because that plane took off from Wichita, Kansas, which is only 3.5 hours away from me.
Mhm.
So I know a lot of people, they've already had their vigil and they're having vigils out there and everything. So we got to keep all those families in our prayers.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that before we went live, and just waiting for all the information to come out.
I'm
And
waiting for the true facts to come out before I go speculating. I've got my own theories, but I'm going to hold them off until I have more evidence on it. And every day there's new stuff coming out about it. The
right.
first day we seen all that same video. Well, they had a new video come out this morning that showed it too. So there's going to be a lot of new stuff come out about it.
Yeah. And I
That
definitely keep the families in my prayers.
right? They're still looking for bodies out there. Is
First I heard they have not recovered any though.
oh yeah,
Right?
they recovered about 40 that was on the
Oh,
plane,
okay.
and I know they've gotten two.
Okay.
I know
I'm
for
not
sure
I'm not
one of the pilots.
okay.
So yeah, they're still missing. Oh, probably I'd say 25 or more people. They're still missing. That I hate to say it, they may not find them
Right.
because that explosion when it hit, it's hard to tell how many of them evaporated right there.
Right.
But we will wait and
Somebody
see.
was talking about, as fast as the Black Hawk and the airline, um, as fast as they go, they don't just hit and stop. They just kind of pass right through each other into shambles and just
The
spread
only
out.
thing, one
So,
thing that was, I hate to say that was lucky about the collision, but they were, is the exact spot where they hit, the speed of the plane and the helicopter going down, at least they went into the Potomac and didn't go into the apartment buildings back about 200 yards. If it'd been back 500 yards, you imagine how many more people would have got killed?
mhm.
Because it would have. I mean, there was a lady out there on her porch filming it when it happened. And if it would have been back 500 yards, it would have took her and everybody in that building out.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
they found the black boxes out of the airplane. Now, I haven't heard if they found any of the so-called black boxes that was in the helicopter or not yet. I know they have found them in the airplane.
okay.
So,
Um, so the latest update I'm pulling up right here is from looks like 19 hours ago, and says at that point 18 bodies had been pulled from the wreckage. So if they found 40, there's more updates. I'm just not pulling that up yet.
okay, let me see here. Oh,
But my thing is, I don't mean this to sound cruel, because my wish would be that nobody loses their life horribly. But if a tragedy like this is going to happen, I hope that it was just a very quick death that they didn't even know was happening. Just boom, rather than somebody surviving severely injured and they're laying on the bottom of the wreckage,
right.
drowning to death and in pain, like
Oh,
that
and
would
we,
be more
yeah,
tragic.
and we have another plane crash in Philadelphia,
Okay.
an air ambulance, and they're reporting 6 dead on that one.
You know, I do have to say, that I think it's a little interesting how many things are happening though in such short times. It kind of makes you step back and scratch your head and kind of just go, hmm. Because one thing, is like, okay, it's an accident. Maybe two things. But how many, tragedies can happen so long before, you
Right.
got to sit back and somewhat question, is there anything going on? Or are they all really just coincidental things? And if so,
Right.
then still what's going on that there's this many accidents happening? I mean, because I'm not just looking at the two plane crashes, I'm looking at the bridge that was hit. Um, actually, there were a couple bridges that were hit. There's just a lot that just seems like is going on, you know, that they're saying are accidents. And I'm not saying that they're not necessarily, but what's going on that all this is happening,
Right.
you know, it's just a lot.
It is, and as the old saying goes, it comes in threes. That's the way we've looked at a lot of things, you know, around.
Right.
But yeah, and this type of stuff, you know, with this plane crash and now an air ambulance out there in Philadelphia and stuff, it makes you wonder about flying.
Right. And I normally love to fly.
I do too. I love to
I'm
fly.
like, I don't know.
I love it whenever you're sitting there in the plane, they're on the runway, and man, they start to take off, and you just feel that rush as it comes in. And then when they land, I kind of like that. I like feeling the down on there and smooth.
Okay, so Carl, here's an update on the black boxes. And it says, as of Friday, January 31st, 2025, the black boxes from the American Airlines passenger jet and the U.S. Army UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter have been recovered.
So they did find the helicopter.
For both of them. Yeah.
Right.
And they were recovered from the crash site in the Potomac River, Washington, D.C.
Right.
So they do have both of them now.
Right. Now, Tom's in the chat room. That air ambulance, is that a plane or a helicopter? Because most air ambulances are helicopters. And that's what I'm seeing on one of the things, but I don't know if it was a plane or not.
I'm pulling that up.
Yeah, it's in Philadelphia.
It says it was a small plane, and it's showing a picture of it.
Okay. I was reading the headline on another deal, so it said, okay, there's one that says new plane crash. It was a medical plane, doctors, and it hit multiple houses. Oh my God, yeah, it did. Ooh. Yeah, it landed in a neighborhood, crashed in a neighborhood.
Yeah, here's another
it said
one.
Plane.
Yeah.
When they said air ambulance, I took it as a helicopter. Because that's what we all call an air ambulance, is a helicopter here in the Midwest.
Our helicopters.
But the other one said a medical plane with doctors and nurses on it. So
yeah, they said this one report says something about people hearing an explosion.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
It's more stuff will come out on that one.
Yeah.
In the next, it just happened a little while ago. So, give it 24 hours to see what comes out.
Right. And I agree, Pete Hegseth should be involved. Les was just saying, like, there's too much, there's too much happening,
Mm-hmm.
So whether you want to say, oh, they're all just coincidentally happening, or whether you want to say, they're all somehow tied together, behind the scenes, whatever your views are, it's still too much. Somebody needs to get to the bottom of why there is just so much happening.
Right. I mean, it's a strange world we're living in and everything, and nothing's going to change overnight.
No.
We all know that. That's just like, we're talking about life, okay? I went with Tammy to the grocery store the other day. Right? Usually she goes and gets the groceries.
Mm-hmm.
I walk in there and say, okay, we got this and this to get. I about had a heart attack when I walked by the eggs. $9 a dozen.
That's higher than they are here.
$15 for an 18 pack.
Oh, no.
I went, oh my God. And I know the owner of the grocery store. I went up and told him, I said, I bet your eggs are going to rot in here. He goes, I know. And I went, this is getting way out of hand.
Yeah.
Eggs should not even be close to that price.
I paid $6 and some change for 18 of them today. Which is higher than what we normally pay, but it's not anywhere near what y'all are paying.
I know.
But, I mean, look how many chickens and stuff the Biden administration had killed. I mean, it's going to raise the cost of eggs and chicken and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no way I pay that.
No. I mean, it's gotten, I told Tammy, I said, well, I got to go out here to the Amish and see what they're selling theirs for.
Right.
And everything, and get me some farm fresh eggs. I don't mind. I hate paying $4 a dozen, but if I have to, I will.
Right.
But I'm not paying $9 a dozen in a grocery store that came from a chicken factory.
Hey, Carl, I'm gonna mute my mic. I have two grandkids spending the night, and she's got
Okay,
real quick.
no problem. Go ahead. But yeah, I mean, that's how it's going around the country right now. And we know it's going to get better, but it's not going to change overnight. And yeah, you never know how many coincidences it does change the mathematical impossible. But accidents do happen, you know. We all know that.
Sorry about that. They were
That
asking for snacks. I said, just take the whole box in there.
that's all right. Hey, this is a family show and life unfiltered. Kids are kids, you know.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can't change that.
Friday night's a little different because with school, you only have Friday and Saturday to do certain things. And they're here. Brisis's birthday was the 26th, but my whole family was so sick that entire week, and we had just started recovering. So we're doing her birthday party tomorrow. So they're here spending the night. So they're just here for the party.
Well, that's good. That's
But
good.
yeah, Tom says he just bought an 18 pack of eggs for $7.60. So yeah, they're probably about $1 more than what I paid for an 18
Right.
pack. Not, I mean, it's a lot, but it's not horrible. I like there's a little, I cringed when I put it in my cart today. I was lazy today. I was reorganizing my whole house and cleaning. I opened the windows. I was like, we need to let some fresh air in. I opened the windows and started cleaning, organizing closets and stuff. So I just placed an order and had it delivered. And walked in my front door. I'm like, I'm good with that today. Because if I leave my house, I'm not going to get back into this and everything will just sit.
Right.
But I did cringe when I put the eggs in. But now hearing what you're saying, I'm like,
Keep
okay,
an,
I'm not
keep
going
an
to go.
eye on it and see what happens. I mean, this popped up. I knew they were getting up there in the $4 and $5 range, but when it jumped up to 9 this last time, I was like, who's gouging who? And I know Jeremy that owns our little country store up here. He's not gouging. Yeah,
Tom,
I
you
know.
got it at
I'm
Walmart.
going to
That's where I
Walmart
got
tomorrow.
mine.
I'm going to check.
Yeah, I got mine at Walmart, and that's what I was telling Carl. I paid like $6.80 for an 18 count. Um, I don't know what state you're in. I know Carl's in Missouri. I'm in
Right. Tom's
Kentucky.
in Illinois.
Huh?
Tom's in Illinois.
In Illinois?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
So
just
they're
south of
not
Chicago.
too much higher than us. Um, and I just want to say something real quick before we get too much further into the show. This is our first night for this show. We're still kind of filling out where we want to take the show and what we want to do. Like I said, this was a very, very last minute thing that came up.
Yeah.
Carl had a little more notice just because he's the one that had to call me,
Yeah.
but it was still very last minute. So Carl has said last week, no politics. It's kind of hard to avoid politics, even just with life. Um, there's some topics that I told Carl, just some things I do definitely want to steer clear of. But I don't want to rule politics out completely because
Right.
politics is a big part of life. But I love doing shows like we did last week with Miss Tammy McCartney when she was on, and I've got some guests I would like to bring on and share things. So, um, you know, anyway, just bear with us. And if there's topics y'all want to hear, feel free, to message us and let us know. We're just
Right.
kind of putting this together and rolling with
Put it in
it.
the chat room and everything. We're just going to talk about what's been going on in life and how things are going with each other's families and how our people in our chat room are doing and
Yeah.
Different things like that.
Yeah.
You
Bill, we definitely want to get Tammy on again. And I would like to try to get somebody else to come on with us. You know, uh, I have some thoughts, there, but I would love to get Tammy on. She is really amazing.
mm-hmm.
And she has really helped me because I'm supposed to, well, it, Bill, on the other show, I had talked about my surgery and that the only hang up might be, my weight. And it was, he told me I need to lose 35 pounds before he can do the surgery. Um, and I'm not shy to say I know everybody has ideas on pharmaceuticals. I'm in the middle. I'm all for natural stuff and I'm okay with pharmaceuticals. I think it's a personal choice for everybody. I do both, but I've already started my diet. I bought some workout equipment for the house because I finally got clearance to start working out.
Okay, good.
They said my muscle separation in my stomach is a little over 4 inches wide. And they said that's about, you just can't get more severe than that. So they
Right.
said, chances of you having issues from that, from exercising, I forget what they called it, where the muscle spasm down on your intestines. So I've never had clearance, but now they've separated to this point. So they're like, not a concern as bad as that is. Even if they spasm,
Exactly.
they're not going to go
Exactly.
4 inches. So I've been buying workout equipment, and I am going on some weight loss medication. I'm just waiting for all my labs to come back. I've got labs coming from the clinic and labs coming from my OBGYN. So, I mean, if there's anything going on with me, they're going to find it. And, I, love doing the shows where we can talk about health and our diets and things like that as well, because that's such a vital part. And Tammy, to get back to what I was saying about Tammy going through this, anybody who's on my Facebook, you look back through my old pictures, and up until baby 11, I was weighing 100 pounds. Um, after, oh gosh, I'll be praying for you, Tom.
And
Uh,
Tom's another one we need to get on the show too. I know him
okay.
real good. He's a real good friend of mine.
Okay. Let us know, Tom, if you ever want to come on.
Yeah,
Uh,
talk about what's going on with your health and everything after you get done with your spinal injection
yeah.
and stuff.
And what I was going to say, I want to give Tammy a big shout out because I know she's not watching. She said she would go back and try to watch it. Um, she's a big help because going from being somebody who was always told, you need to gain weight, you need to gain weight, you need to gain weight. And I couldn't. I could not gain weight to save my life. And trust me, I ate. I mean, I could out eat a room full of big men and I wouldn't gain anything.
Mm-hmm.
And to go to where now I have a doctor saying for healing purposes, you need to lose about 35 pounds. That was a big blow. I mean, I want the doctor to be honest with me and stuff, of course. And I know, I mean, I see what I look like. I see the size clothes I'm having to buy now compared to before. It's not that I'm ignorant to it, but it's just such an extreme in my life. I didn't really hit much of the middle ground. I went from being super tiny to having a hysterectomy. And after my hysterectomy, just all this weight just piled on. And there was no controlling it, no stopping it, no slowing it down. I just went from one extreme to the other, which is very mentally and emotionally hard for, I don't know about men, I'm not going to speak for men, but it's very hard for women.
Right.
It really is hard for us. And to have that doctor say that is like, okay, it's 35 pounds, keep it in perspective. But, I talked to Tammy and she was great in helping me to keep it in perspective and keep motivation. Okay, what do I need to do? Let's focus on what I need to do. And I started getting all my labs done. buying equipment I can use here at home. My daughter says she'll go to the gym with me. She lifts weights. She wants to be a competition bodybuilder. So she's been doing that. And oh yeah, you should see her. She's 5 foot, 108 pounds, and just looks so teeny tiny walking around.
We're
The
going to
way
have to get her on here and see how she's
Guess
been
what?
doing and keep track of it.
Carl, I'm telling you, when that little girl, she doesn't look very muscular. She looks toned, but not muscular. But you start getting her in all these poses and all this stuff. And I mean, I'm like, where are you keeping all that hidden from? Because those little muscles just start popping out everywhere. I'm like, you know. So she's like, Mom, I'll go with you and I'll help you with this stuff and help teach you what you need to be doing and working on. So it's going to be a little bit of a journey, but my goal is to be able to have my surgery and be done by summer. So that is my goal.
Oh, good.
But Tammy, she's just, I want her back on. She is one of those people that is so encouraging and so supportive and just really played such a role in helping me to not just fall apart and get into some depressed state, but to keep me motivated and focused. And I just really appreciate her. So I want to get her on. Tom, anytime you want to come on, you let us know.
Right. I want to try to get Tom on there, and I want to get his partner in the paranormal, Nick Muley, on here because
Okay.
earlier this year, Nick was rushed to the emergency room and
Okay.
had to go in to drain blood off his brain.
Oh my
He
gosh.
almost died. And he's been going through some things. And because of this situation, he has lost 30 pounds. But with his health and everything, it was a big scare. It changed him a lot.
Yeah.
It made him look at things. He's a young man. I mean, he's not, I think he might be 30, if
Mm-hmm.
that old, and
Very.
everything. So, Tom, if you're still on here listening, we'll get a hold of Nick too. I'd like to get him on the show and talk. So, yeah,
I
it,
like to get Ron and Denise on one night. My friend Carolyn in Memphis. Y'all just be prepared because when she tells her story, her part of it, I am very much involved. So y'all may learn some things about me that I might just be like, oh gosh, because
right.
there's things that I just don't tell people anymore unless there's a specific reason, which she would have a specific reason, and it's like, okay, it's part of my life, part of my past. It is what it is. I just don't wear a sign around anymore. But she's an amazing woman. She was a Vietnam Army nurse, and she has a lot she can share, with things she saw there leading up to how she got involved with CCV, Citizens for Community Services, and they've been to DC trying to help get certain laws passed. Just very active in her community there in Memphis and other communities around the country, which is how I met her. So I'm not going to go into too much more detail because she won't need to come on.
Right.
But
Right.
I mean, y'all have got, when I get Miss Carolyn on, that is a show that y'all will not want to miss on all levels. And yeah, she's been like a second mom to me. I met her when I was 19.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's going to be a lot of different people and a lot of different subjects that we'll go over in the future, but you're going to see a lot of different people on here. I'm going to try to get Tammy Gardner, Tammy Lee
yeah,
Rage on here and see how her health with the Crohn's and
I've been
everything is
keeping up
doing.
with her Facebook posts and some of her lives. And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
She's been doing
I
a
would
lot of
love to
lives.
get her on. In fact, I got to get her package sent out. I still have her Christmas present.
Yeah. We
She,
just sent him a
she doesn't know she has
package.
one coming.
Yeah, we just sent him a package here about a week and a half ago
Yeah.
and everything for her and their son, Michael, and see if it helps him with his acne.
Okay.
So hopefully it does and everything. It's help. Tammy makes a certain product out of different things, and it's helped three or four of the kids around here with their acne real good. I was shocked at how
Wow.
well good it cleared up. And they
Okay.
were trying that high dollar pharmaceutical stuff, and it
Right.
wasn't doing anything. So it's all natural that she makes.
One of my sons has skin issues and stuff, and he's been buying some stuff made out of snail slime,
Okay.
and it works great for him.
Oh, okay. If it's working, that's all I
Oh,
want to hear.
like one day his face will be all kind of puffy and red and dry skin peeling, and he'll wash his face with it that one day and wake up the next day totally cleared up.
Oh, okay.
And but Tristan, where did you say they use that snail slime stuff? He can't hear me. He's got his headphones on. Um, it's some other country where that's supposed to be a thing. I want to say Korea or Japan or something. It's one of those countries, and
Right.
they apparently use snail slime in a lot of their skincare products. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of it's coming out and everything, but yeah, a lot of different products out there from the foreign countries and homemade products
Hmm.
are starting to become real popular
Right.
again. A lot of us are going back to what we grew up in our age group with
Hmm.
and stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially all the different people we have on here and different stories we get to go with and everything. But yeah, you're not going to hear a whole lot of the politics unless it affects our life. Then you may hear something about it. That's what me and Phoenix was talking about before the show. You know, politics plays a little bit into your life, but you control your life.
Right.
So what you allow to go on and do, you know, that's what you have to do. But yeah, we're going to have fun with this show. This show is going to be, we're going to go about an hour and a half on Friday nights with this show. And just keep talking to our people in the chat room. Without you, we don't have a show. And I know this was a real quick thing to put together and everything. So if you can, share it out to your friends so we get more viewers coming in because we talk to the people in the chat room all the time. Me and Phoenix make sure of that on every show we do.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, as you can see with the people we've been talking about bringing on, we plan on having on several guests, not just the people mentioned, but we're constantly looking for more people to add to the list. And Tammy, I would love to have on a couple times, both Tammys,
Hmm.
Tammy McCartney and Tammy Lee Rage. You know, I I've got a few other people in mind. In fact, the lady at my eye doctor's place, she says she would be interested in coming on and talking about some things. So,
Right.
there are people interested. My friend James, hopefully, hopefully we
We'll get him back on. We'll get him back on. Tell him Carl wants him to come back.
so I don't know. He said he wasn't bothered by the last show he was on. He's used to that stuff. But
Yeah, but here he'll get to talk.
yeah, I apologize several times. I said we brought you on for a 2 hour show and you maybe got to talk 5 to 10 minutes of it.
Five was pushing it. Five was pushing it. So yeah, yeah,
But
that was something else. But
I
uh,
felt pretty bad. But
Yeah, so did I, and I was in the background.
I think we can maybe get James back on. And James, believe it or not, if given the chance, he has a lot of knowledge and things that he wants to talk about. And that's why I try to give him a space to talk too, because
Right, right,
sometimes we just don't have people close in our life that we can really converse with.
right.
Um,
And
it
I
can
want to
be an
get your daughter that's north of you up there with the kids back on here.
okay. My daughter Brianna,
Is
the
it
one that was on.
Brianna that's got the little kids?
I have two daughters with little kids.
Ah,
The one that co-hosted with us,
yeah, the one that was on there. Yeah.
that's Brianna.
Okay, Brianna. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want her back on the show too.
Okay. Yeah, I have a
That's all.
daughter, Emily, and she's the one that has the 2-year-old. Remember when you got reported for nudity and it was her in her dress?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, yeah. So that's Emily. And then she's got a 10-month-old baby. 7 months, I'm sorry, 7 month
Right.
old baby. So
Yeah.
yeah, when you say your daughter with the little ones, I'm like, well,
Well, that one's the only one I know of around that's just north of you, a little ways up there where you go to. So,
yeah, that
yeah.
will, yeah, she probably would, yeah, because Emily is about 30 minutes south of me.
Oh, yeah. And
So
Brianna's north of you up there in
in Indiana,
Indiana. Yeah, Indiana. Right.
yes, sir.
So,
Yeah, and Brianna's amazing. Like she really is.
yeah, I was impressed with her. She's really smart and everything, and she has her hands full. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of things that go on with little kids,
Yeah.
and that's part of life.
The other thing I would like to do is see if, since we're doing it on Friday, see if I can talk my daughter Emily, yeah, Emily, into coming up and staying the night, where Ken can help watch the kids and Emily can stay here and talk, because I think autism, is something that a lot of people are dealing with, and her oldest son is nonverbal autistic.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I know there's a lot of other people dealing with autistic children, or, they may have some other disorder, maybe not autism, but there's a lot of things that we can talk about. So, like I said, for anybody watching, if there is something that y'all want to talk about, I actually kind of came up with the name Life Unfiltered and threw it at Carl because I want to talk about life. And, one night might be a little more political, and another night, nothing political. It might be something like the show with Tammy, or like the one I want to do with my daughter Emily on autism and stuff.
Right. Or something
But,
happened to the kids, and we got
but
to
it's
discuss
right.
what went on, and it's a life show, a
Yeah,
family show.
exactly. Exactly. Um, I gave Carl kind of the rundown of the things that I did not want to go into. Even if we talk politics, there's just a couple things that Carl and I just steer clear of, um, before, and I still take that stand. Carl's in full agreement. So, the comment section, I want to be very clear. The comment section is open. You know, um,
Just keep
we
it clean.
Right, keep it clean, you know, um, no harassing guests, or, whatever. You'll be
No,
blocked.
no
But
rude comments, no on the guests and stuff, because you never know. There could be kids watching this show.
right. But yeah, we want this to be a fun show that just covers life.
Yep. I mean, here we got, Phoenix is several years younger than I am. So we got two different generations here and everything growing up. And a lot of the people, when we bring our daughter on, that's another different generation
Hmm.
and stuff. And, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things that we see in each other generations.
Right.
You know, she grew up a different way than I grew up and everything. I mean, I grew up in the most country rural area of a town, 105 people and stuff. Like I said, you would do something uptown, and by the time I got home, my mom would already know what I did. That
Mhm.
party line was open 24 hours a day, and all they'd pick it up. Do you know what your son did? I get home and go, uh-oh. Somebody called you, didn't they? But that's the fun part about back in those days. It was all different. We didn't, there was definitely no internet.
Oh no.
You had 3 TV channels, and you
I,
were the remote control for your dad.
out of all the generation combinations, because you are from the baby boomer generation, and I'm Gen X.
Yeah.
I think the baby boomers and the Gen X are there's definitely differences, but I think we're still more um, similar than when I look at like my older children's
Right.
generation. There
Well, you
is
got to look at
a
it this way.
drastic change.
Everybody in the chat room, I was 35 when I got my first computer, and that was Windows 95. I mean, yeah, and stuff. So, yeah, cell phones. I remember the first cell phone. It was a bag phone that you kept in your car and plugged in a cigarette lighter. So, yeah, different things like that. Uh, Growing up, I mean, what was I, 13, 14 years old before we had a microwave in 73 and 74?
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, all kinds of different things. And now technology is taking over everything. I've got computers, flat screen TVs, the internet. Just got fiber hooked up here again with the new fiber company. And I said, you better not screw me around like the last one did.
yeah,
So, but yeah, a lot of different things between the baby boomers and Gen X, you
right.
know, here in what? Let's see, this going to be February tomorrow. So you got February, March, April, May. I got about 4.5 months and then I get on Medicaid.
Hmm.
So that just tells you the age here, folks. It's getting up there.
You know, I part of why I asked you before the show if politics is completely off the table is because Ken has a coworker who posted some more conservative posts. Nothing threatening, nothing like that. Just some repostings of information, things like that. They know he's a Trump supporter and owns some guns. Some people reported him to the FBI, and he had to leave work a couple days ago and go home because the FBI and police were at his house
Oh my God.
questioning him. And he came to work, he had to leave work early, of
Hmm.
course. They weren't going to sit there and wait for him to get off work.
No.
Um, so, but the agent told him, said, you would be surprised at how many times this happens. And they're like, they hadn't even looked at his Facebook post yet. They asked him to look through his post because they said we didn't look. And I'm like, why would you not look at them first? If that's the complaint and the fact that he owns guns, you have access. Like, I know.
Right. They were going by hearsay.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I told Ken. I said, so all it takes, I said, my neighbor is next door. I've met them, but I don't know them. They're gone at work all the time. You just see them come in and out, but we very seldom ever really see them. Um, So I said, I don't know them, but let's just say that I don't like the fact that there's two men who live next door to me and no women. I don't know. I was just trying to come up with something. I don't care. They're very nice when I met them.
Right.
But let's just say for whatever reason, I'm like, I just don't like it, blah, blah, blah. I could call the FBI and just say any crazy thing I want and say that I'm in fear, you know, and they might own guns or whatever. And I could have the FBI at their front door putting them through some crap based on nothing but me saying
Yeah.
whatever. I said that to me is just crazy that it's that easy to get the FBI at somebody's door.
That's going to change. I
You
can
know,
say that's going to change. How long ago did this happen?
this
Because,
last week, a couple days ago.
okay, before our new one got put in office, probably, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it's stupid what people call in and law enforcement, FBI, CIA, all them 3-digit things, right?
Hmm.
Go on hearsay. In this country, you got to have evidence before you do anything.
Yeah.
And that deal there, yeah, you'd be surprised how many calls we get and we got to go check out. Well, did you check my Facebook? No, we didn't do that.
That's part of what blew my mind because I've got him on my Facebook and I've seen the post. Like they're the same thing that pretty much every other conservative out there is posting. Nothing that should have caused alarm. But these people, some of these people are just so anti-Trump that
Hmm.
you just cannot reason. Like there is no reasoning at all. And they are just hell bent that every conservative or Trump supporter, is just this evil person. And yeah, that's all it took. And it is over. They're not putting him through anything else. They went through their list of questions, looked at his Facebook. All of his guns were legal. So they were like, okay, we're closing it out. But still, the fact that he had to leave work and go through all that for nothing,
And there'll be a record of it through
right?
the
Just
FBI. Wait
conservative.
until he goes and purchase another gun.
Hmm.
I'll bet he gets. You keep up with him. I'll bet he gets flagged. I'll bet he does
Yeah.
because the FBI showed up at his house to check weapons
Hmm.
and everything, and I'll bet that throws a red flag up on him purchasing another weapon.
I mean, it's just, it's baffling. I understand that there's a point in needing to check out threats, and sometimes it might be a phone call saying, "Hey, I think something's up with my neighbor." But it better be something legitimate and serious, to get the FBI at somebody's front door, not just well, I don't like their post, their conservative post, and I know this person owns guns, like I couldn't imagine, I've got friends who are Democrats, and some of them drive me up a wall, and I avoid their Facebook posts because they are so Trump deranged and anti Republican anything. I mean, it's to the extreme that no Republican can do anything right, no matter what. It is automatically just horrible because it's a Republican, and especially Trump. So some of the posts I definitely just try to scroll past and
Hey
uh,
Joe, how you doing, brother?
but
It's Joe Kudo down there from my laser show that
okay,
we
I
do
go.
all the laserings with and
All right.
everything. Joe, this is our new show, Life Unfiltered and stuff. So, but yeah, I know what you're saying, but you're lucky the FBI didn't show up at his work
Right.
and pull him out. Could you imagine what that would have?
Mm-hmm.
His union rep would have had to fight and fight to get him back in.
he got a phone call, and his employer does know why he had to go. I mean, he had to tell them, because he didn't know how serious this was going to go. Um, but my point was, even these friends, like, I could imagine, just because we're so politically opposite, calling the FBI and having them show up at my friends' homes just because we just don't see eye to eye in our political views. To me, that's just absurd. And I don't know. I think there should be some kind of guidelines or something, some kind of criteria that has to be met so that
Hmm.
the American citizens are not out here being harassed or looked into for stupid stuff, like just having a difference on political ideology.
Right. And Joe, did your temperature go down? Last night, Joe had been sick for a couple of days. His temperature was
Okay.
103.6.
We
That's
went
why
through
we did
it.
a short show, and I said, "You get your ass to bed,"
Yeah.
you know, and stuff. But yeah,
Well, Joe, I'll be praying for you. My family went through it all last week, and it was it was rough.
right. And Joe is part of Dark Realm
Okay.
TV.
Awesome.
He's one of the three to help create this.
Okay. Well,
So
nice to meet
everybody check
you,
out
Joe.
Dark Realm TV on the Roku channel and on Fire Stick. So check it out. It's got a lot of great podcasts over there. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. That's a crazy situation, and we need to keep updated on that to see if anything backlash comes off of it, or if Ken's buddy decides he's going to go buy another weapon to see if he gets
Is he
flagged.
flagged? Yeah.
If he does, I want to know about it
Okay.
and everything, because that's where he needs to contact his congressmen, his senators, even, everybody up the line,
Right.
because that shouldn't happen.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. I had a lot to say to Ken. He's on his lunch break, and needless to say, he had to put his earbud in when he went back to work because I'm still ranting about it all. And he's just like, okay, uh huh, uh huh, okay. And finally, it's like 11:30 in the morning. He's like, baby, I'm back out at work. He's like, I'm trying to respond, but I'm not supposed to be on the phone.
Right,
I'm
right,
like, okay, all right, I'll let you go. But yeah, I mean, that's just crazy, and I worked with these people, I didn't work with anybody that I would ever think the FBI would show up at their door
right.
like that. I never saw anything in any of them to cause me concern that would need to happen. And I think it's really sad that we are at such a place where our political differences are having us
Where
use
people can call up and make a complaint, and the cops show up at your door. Yeah,
right. And how do we heal the country? I don't know. Hopefully there's enough done over the next 4 years. I mean, and I say this not because I think everybody's going to love Trump or love Republicans,
exactly.
but he did win the electoral college and the popular vote. So hopefully the things that had people crossing the boundary and voting for him this time that never have, voted Republican or whatever. Hopefully those things um, are addressed and in a manner to where the people that voted for this administration are happy,
Right.
which is still going to be the majority of America, at least the ones that voted. And hopefully that can be a start to mending some of the stuff going on.
I
You
think
know,
the way it's going to amend a lot of this country is it depends on what all Trump can get done in his 4 years to help the economy and help the
Right.
American people to lower prices down, to be able to put more money in our pockets, and have a better life than what we have had. So it's going to depend a lot on the votes and everything in Congress and getting everything passed. But he's got some people in there in the right places that are very smart people. So, and they're all about the American people. So we're going to see if they continue on and do what they say.
I'm gonna keep my mic muted, son. My son is in the kitchen trying to get some dinner.
Oh, that's all right. Hey, that's part of life. There's
I
other people in
muted
the house that have to live.
I
You know,
muted my mic and I said, "Hey, what country do they use that snail mucus stuff?" And he said, "Korea." I said, "Okay, I was right."
okay,
But he
right,
goes, "Are you on a show?" I'm like, "Yep, this is my first show of the first night of the new show." He's like,
right.
"Oh," because he's in there. We got a rotisserie chickens, the already cooked rotisserie chickens, and they put them in those plastic bags. So all I hear is crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And he's like, "Are you on a show?" Yeah.
Tell him it's no problem because it's like we say, this is life unfiltered. There's life going on. I don't have a problem with him over there. At least he's a young man and he's not saying, Mom, get up and fix me something to eat.
Mom would look at him like he's
I
crazy.
know, but there's a lot of kids out there like that.
I
And
do cook dinner for the whole family. But if
yeah,
he doesn't want what I cook or he sleeps through dinner for whatever reason or, he's no, you're grown. You can fix your own food.
yeah, he's capable of
Yeah.
fixing and could survive when he gets his own place.
I
He's not
definitely
afraid to
raised
try.
my kids to be independent.
Right.
I looked at it as it was not my job to be their friend. It was my job to raise them and teach them what they wanted to know because or need to know to survive out there in the world. Friendship can come later when they're grown. And there's times that they still need mom to be mom,
Oh, yeah.
with something here and there, but the time for friendship is when they're grown. Doesn't mean we can't laugh and have a good time. But my hat that I wear when I'm raising them is not friend. It is mom. So no, my kids
Exactly.
are
And that's what you have to do. You can't be their best friend when they're little.
great. Right.
That don't work.
Yeah.
You know, when they get older, then you're still mom, but you can be their friend
Right.
at the same time and stuff. And I know you got the two little ones. You're still mom to them. You don't be friend. You be mom and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, there's a lot, especially raising kids, even helping raising grandkids
Mhm.
and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things. Like
Yeah.
Cammy went with a friend of ours over to a house in Trenton or Milan. The friend of ours' daughter had a baby, and the baby is 8 months old, I think, and she's got a daughter that is 4 years old. And I guess the 4 year old is rebelling
Oh.
because for up until 8 months ago, 4 year old had all the attention.
Hmm.
I said, send that 4 year old to me for about 2 weeks, and that will change real quick, you know. And she goes, I'm getting on to her. I spank her and everything what she's doing stuff. I said, yeah, but your mom. You will find out later kids act better around other people than they do their parents. When we was helping people raise their kids, they would come to us and go, that ain't the same kid when we're over at your house. I went, that's right. Because
Yeah.
over at our house, they know the rules, they know what they have to abide by, and they do it.
Right.
At your house, they don't.
Yeah.
And we know it. Well, how do we change it? I said, you put your foot down and tell them like this. You mind that way at Nana and Poppy's, you're going to mind that way here. Because if not, I'm going to tell Poppy. That changes everything automatically over here where we do it. Because if Poppy hears you're not minding at the other house, then I check into it and see what's going on.
That's how we are with my grandkids. And I don't put up with a lot of crap. My one grandson, he says, I don't want to live at home anymore. I want to live at your house. Now, I'm grandma to all the kids, but Emily's kids do call me Meemaw and Peepaw. And how that started is because my autistic grandson, um, he could not say grandma and grandpa, but
Right.
he could say Meemaw and Peepaw.
Yep.
So as his siblings came along, they just picked up me, mom, Peepaw
Right.
from the autistic grandson. And
Right.
I don't care what they call me. Khalil now, he goes back and forth between grandma and me, ma. I don't care. I answer to it all. But he was telling me he didn't want to live at home anymore. He wants to live at my house. He says, I like your house. Oh, okay. And Emily and I were talking about this today, and um, she said, "Yeah, he told me that." And when I asked him why, he said he wants to live at your house because it's more fun. Put him on the phone. So we're on video chat. I said, Khalil, I said, do you think my house is more fun? And yeah, Peepaw and I are in a little different situation financially where we can do a little more, buy a little more than Mama can, but Mama does the best she can. And I said, so I can see where you think some things are more fun at my house. Plus, you don't live here. You just come and visit and go home. Even if you spend a night or two, it's a visit. I said, let me tell you something. If you lived in my house, you'd be in bed by 8:30 on school nights. There wouldn't be any of this playing around that you do. I said, you would have this rule and this rule and this rule, and I'm going through it all. And I said, you would have to live by the same rules that Onyx and Mercedes do. I said, now, with those rules come extra things. You got to mind the rules too.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, we don't reward bad behavior. Absolutely not. I said, the days of 2 and 3 lunches, not happening. I said, I will ask, what do you guys want for lunch? And I'll give you a couple options. But once you answer me, that's what you get. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not putting food on the table if you say, oh, no, I changed my mind. I don't want that. I want this. No, that's
No,
what
it
you
don't
ask for.
fly.
That's what you get. And there's no snack. If you don't eat your lunch, you don't get a snack. You can have dinner when dinner is ready. If you're hungry, eat your lunch. I said, I don't play these games. I said, I'm not doing it. So next thing I know, he's looking at me as I'm talking him through all this. He's going and making all these faces, and all thing goes, maybe my house with mommy's more fun than yours.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Oh,
like,
I know.
maybe, because
Yeah.
I'm tough, And I was talking to somebody on the phone, and she was like, well, is my sister. She said, I don't spank my grandkids or anything. She said, they're not my kids to spank. I said, now, most of my grandkids, I don't. But I said, Emily's kids, I said, I do, but I have a different bond with them. I said, I've helped raise them since birth. I didn't help raise my other grandkids. I got to just be grandma. But them, they've lived with me off and on. And, I was standing there when they popped their little heads out into the world,
Mm-hmm.
and they've lived with me off and on. Like, it's just a totally different relationship. I said, now the older one, I don't, because I think he's too old. But those little ones, I said, that's not the first thing I go to, but I'm not going to shy away from popping them on the butt either if I think that it warrants it.
If it warrants it, yes. Yeah,
So,
no.
and her kids, they know I'm grandma, but I'm more than grandma in a way too. I'm kind
Mm-hmm.
of right there with mama, And, we talked some about the influence of fathers on other shows. This is a whole new show, so it might be a topic we approach again. It's just the family dynamics. And again, I don't want this to sound like I am criticizing single mother homes or single father homes or anything. Life happens. I've been there myself and been a single mom, and I had 9 children, as a single mom. And, it was tough, so my hats off to the people doing it. But, I get a little concerned when I hear messages out in society about how we don't need men. I can do this without you. Well, yes, there are deadbeat men out there.
There
And
are.
that is a problem. We got to start teaching our young boys what it means to be a man and to take on responsibility. And take on. That's one of my granddaughters, everybody.
Oh,
Um,
I figured it was your son going, ah,
no, it's one of my granddaughters.
sweetie.
Carl said hi.
Hello.
So, but in general, it just really bothers me that we are at a point in society where a masculine man is seen as toxic. Masculinity in itself is not toxic. Masculinity is not beating on your wife or girlfriend. That's not masculinity.
Uh,
That's a character flaw. That's something that he needs to go work on. And it's an individual thing. It has nothing to do with being a masculine or more feminine man or sensitive, whatever the politically correct word is for it. Masculinity is not toxic. It is a very vital part. And I hear a lot of these, especially the younger females, saying, and it was said in my own house, and I was like, what? If men were wiped off the face of the earth, we would be just fine. Really? Who's
yeah,
going to get
you
out
die
there?
out. So, yeah, you'd be fine.
Oh, their answer to procreation is sperm banks. Well, you still need men to get
Yeah,
the
that's got to donate to that bank.
like you still need men. But who's going to get out there and build these, houses? Who's going to go out and get on the oil things out in the ocean? The oil
Uh-huh.
rig. No, there are so many things out there. And yes, you might find a woman here and there that's willing to do it, but as a whole, women don't want to do those jobs. Let's just
A
be
lot of
honest.
women
They
don't.
don't. They want the more cushiony jobs, the office jobs, the school teacher. Yes, there's more women going into some fields like firefighting and EMS and different things. But when it comes to those really rough, dirty jobs, women as a whole do not want to do them. You know, um, and I think men are such a vital role in the family. And if mom and dad cannot be together, that's fine. Don't make a bad situation worse by trying to force it.
Right.
But that child still needs mom and dad in their life. And I think part of what we're seeing in society is the deterioration of society happening right along with the deterioration of the nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go back through history and see where it really started taking a huge downturn. And it kind of coincides when you compare, all the studies on it, and we're at this point where men are being told they don't really have a role and they're not needed. And, at the same time, I think mothers are very much needed. Of course, you're going to have deadbeat mothers. It's sad to see the amount of women that are running out on families and kids now. I think it used to be predominantly men, but women are on the rise now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but both have a role in society. Both have a role in the family, and they need those strengths and weaknesses to raise the child properly, because nobody was meant or created to be a single parent.
Right.
You just can't do everything by yourself 100%. Something's going to fall short a little bit. We try to fill all the hats that we have to wear if we're a single parent, and we do the best. But I know when I was a single parent, I just couldn't be dad. It was impossible. I could try to teach him the things that I think dad would add to their life, but I just couldn't be a dad. I was a mom, having to try to fill that role. And did I do the best I could to be a provider, a mother, fill the role of a father, and all these different hats? Well, of course I did my best. But looking back, can I say I did it all 100%? No.
No.
I wasn't created to do it all by myself, So it's not an insult to men or women, but I think we just have to start raising our children, to understand people can have toxic traits. And if you see that, go.
Right.
But we've got to stop looking at men who are masculine as just toxic and trying to shame it out of them, and stop putting out this message that fathers are not needed. They very much are needed, just as much as mothers. Both are very important. And, we've at some point got to start turning some of this stuff around.
Hopefully it does. If not, that's going to be worse and worse in the family units. It's gotten worse, but it can get a lot worse out there. But yeah, men and women both play an important role in the raising of their children in a household. You're all right. Don't worry about it.
Mercedes and Onyx are used to it, but Evie and Dorian, they've never been here on a show night,
That's all right. That's all right.
So this
It's
is
life.
all new to them.
I know it's life. But yeah, everything's going good. But anybody that watches this show, go to the Bill of Rights Network and tell us how you like it and what you'd like to see us talk about. Because we're going to be talking about a lot of different things on this show. But send us messages on what you want on here. And we're going to have a lot of guests coming on here in the next few weeks. Tom said he would come on. I'm sure you'll get a hold of Nick and let him know. I'll try to get a hold of Tammy Lee and see about her. We got to get Tammy McCartney back on here and stuff. So we can get a lot of things on and a lot of talking going on life, health, And if anybody out there is down or depressed, get a hold of Phoenix or get a hold of me. You can find me on Facebook on Carl Albertson and everything. Send me a message. We can talk because we're all about helping people with mental health, depression, PTSD, any of that. That's one thing this show is going to be about too, is helping people out.
Right.
But
and I also did not know this existed until our final show last week. But
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I found out that if you dial 988, that takes you straight to, it's similar to 911, but this is for mental health, and they compare you up with counselors as well. So yeah, on your cell phone, all you have to do is put in 988 and you tell them what's going on, and they match you up with a counselor that you can speak with as well. So I did not know that existed until I started looking into some things for a prior show, and I thought that was really awesome. And there's no shame in reaching out.
No, there's not.
And
And go ahead.
sometimes we just want to be heard. Sometimes there's just some stuff going on, and we just want to be heard. We don't need anybody to fix anything or do anything, but just listen. And sometimes, we might just need someone to help equip us with the tools to kind of navigate through some stuff. Whatever is going on, there's no shame in any of it.
No, there's not. And also at this show, as we got about 10 minutes left. So in the last few minutes of the show, each week I'm going to be showing you different stuff than what's on the wall. Here's one of the latest ones that's been engraved.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Phoenix has seen that, but Phoenix hasn't seen these.
Oh, wow. No, I have not.
Those are little houses that I laser cut out, and this is a church.
Wow.
Right here, where you put the battery operated lights in the bottom of them and they shine out through the windows.
Wow.
So different things like that I'll be showing.
That's awesome.
And stuff. Yeah, Tammy put them together after I cut them out.
That's amazing.
And the little one, look at the little picket fence.
Good job, Tammy.
So
that is awesome.
We'll be showing a couple items like that.
We still have those drawings from Paragold as well.
Yep. As soon as we get more viewers and everything, we'll be giving those away on this show. So, yeah, I've got them in the other room in here stored away and stuff. So, we'll be getting that
people what they are, and
yeah, we'll get them up on here on the next show.
Okay.
And stuff, and tell them, when we hit 25 people watching the show, then I'll give one of them away and stuff. And we'll go from there. It's to help increase our viewership, but it's also to help somebody get a actual print from a real good airbrush artist that we met in Paragon. Oh, he did. And these prints I have, they're autographed. Each one of them is autographed. And will come with a card of who did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a lot of that coming up.
Yeah, he was amazing. Absolutely fascinating. I made several trips to his booth, and I bought, I wanted a Thomas Shelby from the Peaky Blinders. He was sold out. So I got an Arthur Shelby, and I still need to get a hold of him to get my Thomas Shelby.
The one I like the best out of it is Tombstone.
Yes.
That is awesome. The big one he had up there, oh my God, it was gorgeous. The big long one he had. Oh, that one that one stole my heart. I was like, oh, that is fantastic of what he did.
Yeah. Yeah, he's amazing. He would be awesome to have come on the show as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll have to contact him. I got his business card and everything, and have him come on the show and show some of his artwork and stuff. But yeah, we got a lot of people doing a lot of stuff and everything that we know that can do a lot of things. So you never know who will be on this show in the future.
I think as long as it's okay with you, Carl, I may get a hold of Emily. She usually tries to watch the shows, but I know she had a lot going on tonight. But I may get a hold of her and see what she thinks about coming up next Friday, working with her kids, and maybe we can do the autism show.
Yeah.
Friday.
that hits close to home. You know, I've got a great nephew who is now 13 that is autistic
Yeah,
and everything. And the school district that he's in now is doing a fantastic job with him. I mean, I've seen a big change in this young man. And
that's awesome.
and we raised him the first 3 years of his life
Hmm.
and had to learn a lot of stuff about autism from
Right.
the people that was coming
Yeah.
over to help and everything. So yeah, that hits close to home. So yeah, they can come on here and talk about it and even talk about autism. It
Hmm.
needs to be talked about more.
Right.
It really does because I'm seeing a big increase in
Oh
autism.
yeah. Yeah. And
When I was growing up, you didn't see it that often, you know.
K Junior's talked a lot about that too. You know, why are we seeing such a rise in so many
It's in
child?
our food.
Yeah.
It is. And we'll go over that in that show and discuss it. And I mean, yeah, that'll be a great show. So yeah, get a hold of her.
Let you know tomorrow. She'll be up here for Briseis's birthday party.
Okay.
So I'll let you know. And if she does not think she can do it next Friday, I'll let you know so we can line somebody else up. But keep watch on my Facebook, on Carl's Facebook. And are you able to post the stuff on Bill of Rights yet? Or, okay.
Okay.
Um,
What's going on? I can tell you. StreamYard, what used to when we created the show be over on the Bill of Rights Network, you know, for the event and everything. For some reason, Facebook isn't allowing that over there like that anymore using StreamYard. It's not on there until we go live.
okay.
So I got to figure out.
But
I
we
think,
can still put a post just
yeah,
letting.
we can put up posts, but I think when I create the show, see, it creates a event page, right? I think I'm going to have to share that over to the Bill of Rights Network before the shows. I
Okay.
think that's how we'll do that.
Okay.
But yeah,
So, yeah, keep an eye on my Facebook page, Carl's Facebook page, or follow the Bill of Rights Network on Facebook as well. And we'll try to keep everybody updated on guests and topics coming
right.
up.
And I'll create a Life Unfiltered Facebook page and stuff. And Phoenix will have access to it too. And as soon as we can get several followers and everything, then we can go live over on there too. And we are live on YouTube on Wizards Engravings Facebook or YouTube channel right now too. So
Okay.
I've
I
got
did
it
know
up.
that.
Yeah, I've got it up and going.
All
So
right.
I've been putting some of the shows over there and stuff to help and grow and do
Mhm.
everything we can. And we're still on Born TV on Rumble. So we are live over there tonight.
Okay.
So,
Sounds great.
but we've been
I
on
think,
here about an hour and a half.
yep.
And I want to thank everybody in the chat room for joining us on a short notice. You know, we've had Bill in there, we've had Tom in there, Joe popped in, real good friend of ours. And we've got a lot of people there. But share the show out, get it out. It's on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central.
I see we have some people still on Rumble. So we appreciate you guys watching as well.
Yeah. And if you're on Rebel, type a comment in. We can find it'll pop up over here. So let us know on Rumble what's going on. And also on Rumble, let us know what you'd like to hear us discuss. Because this is Life Unfiltered. And, you know, we're going to be doing just a lot of different talk shows on here. So
Absolutely.
anything else to close us out, Phoenix?
No, join us next Friday at 7 Central Time.
Yes.
Okay.
7 Central. There goes one of the kids. But,
He's waving again.
yeah. But everybody, you've been listening to Life Unfiltered with Carl and Phoenix. Have a good evening.
Good night, everyone.